So today I'm working on a 2002 Lexus ES300. Problem is the shifter, when I pull it down into drive, it switches over to 4 by itself. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. And I'm going to show you what the problem was and how to fix it. The thing we need to do is to remove this cover. And in order to do that, I'm going to first I'm going to put on the ignition, and now I can move this down to, we'll move it down to drive. I'm going to take this knob off right here, and then take these plastic tools here. These are pretty handy for taking apart interior trim, and we'll get underneath and we're going to pry this back, pry this up. And this all comes up. I have to undo an electrical connection underneath here for the rear shade. So there we go. Pull that plug out. I can put this onto the side. Now we got to remove this plastic trim cover right here. Get rid of the keys and get rid of that noise there. So these, we just pull these tabs out a little bit, and I'm going to have to do this with another hand. Trying to do this one-handed while I'm showing you the video. And then this puppy comes off. Actually, it looks like we're going to have to go back into neutral again in order to move this back far enough to get this out. There we go. And now we can pull that off. Take off this little plastic piece. And there we go. It's not going into drive. When I bring it all the way down to the drive, it actually goes into 4. And what I found is if you look down here, you can see there's a white Y-shaped fork or U-shaped fork, and the tab on the right is broken off. So that's why it's not shifting. If I bring it back down here, I'll take a screwdriver, if I push this over, now it goes into drive. If I push it back to 4th and then back to drive, nothing happens. So what I got to do is come up with a solution to extend this tab out here, because the dealer is only going to sell the entire assembly, which I don't want to buy. So I think I found my solution to repair the broken arm off of the Y. I got a piece of plastic tubing. This is just ordinary, I think it's just a small tubing used for like an ice maker or something. Hard, fairly rigid. And I'm just going to put a little epoxy on the end of it and stick it in there. It's a little tricky because I have to use a screwdriver, a long screwdriver, and I put the screwdriver through here to feed it in. So hopefully that will work, because I haven't figured out a way to take the top off of this thing without much trouble. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so I got a little bit of epoxy on the end of this tube. I'm going to put a little bit more down here on the arm. And now comes the fun part. Try to feed this thing inside here. There we go. You notice I cut a little 45-degree chamfer on the top to help it find its way in there. And I'll need to hold that back. Okay, I'm going to have to put this down for a sec. While I pull out the screwdriver. And there it is. It's all glued in place. I'm going to let that sit. This is a 5-minute epoxy, so it shouldn't take too long. And we'll see what happens. And so now for the moment of truth. We're going to check out and see if our repair works. So, got the ignition on, and we're going to move. That's down to drive, and that goes over to fourth, third, back up, across. And it's all working like it should. It's all going back and forth. So I think we have a good repair, and we're just going to put it back together. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you can learn something, maybe teach me something if you have a better idea. I'm always open. Thanks.